Since I know some of you like me analysing some of the comments, I've been reading through some of the comments, and so I'd like to analyse and explain my thoughts on this one. So this was in respect of the app that I said was slightly misleading called Vetster, because in short, the app on your phone says that the vet can prescribe medications, but in fact, they are very limited in what they can prescribe. So I'll link that video in the description below for you to watch in full to get a full idea. But in response to that, I also made a comment and said that I didn't take it up with the company and ask for my money back. This comment here says, and quotes me, "I didn't take it up with the company and ask for my money back," and then goes on to comment on my statement within the video. And he says, "Surely that's what anyone with a legitimate complaint would do, rather than make a YouTube video about it." Let's take these two in turn, shall we? In reverse order. Rather than make a YouTube video about it. Well, in case it's escaped your attention, I create YouTube videos to help you understand law. And in this particular situation, I decided to make a video to explain why I believe this app was very slightly misleading and why I felt misled by this app. So therefore I made a YouTube video about it because it's what I do. I've done it for several years now. I've got probably 2,500 videos on YouTube by now. I don't know the exact number, but perhaps you can go and have a look. Taking the first part, surely that's what anyone with a legitimate complaint would do. Well, actually, no, a lot of people don't complain and a lot of people don't ask for their money back. Maybe more people should, and they'd certainly be entitled to if certain criteria are met. For example, the service wasn't carried out with reasonable skill and care, or the product is defective, or any one of the other number of things that are engaged in the Consumer Rights Act or any other kind of act that protects purchases and contract law apply. But many people don't do that. Many people don't complain. Many people don't ask for their money back. They just suck it up and they just get on with their life. I do that often because sometimes, considering to be fairly blunt about it, with what I charge per hourly rate, it would be less cost effective for me to start chasing around smaller amounts of money than I charge per hour than it would be for my hourly rate. So I would rather do work or just actually take some time off instead of chasing around some money. But in this case, there was a more fundamental reason why I didn't chase the money back from this particular company. That's because on the one hand, I felt it wasn't a deliberate attempt to mislead me. I don't think it was deliberate. And secondly, the vet that we had this online appointment with was fantastic. This video and the previous video are obviously not sponsored. I've done them off my own bat. So while I do think it was very slightly misleading, and I have fed that back to the company so that they can improve it, I'm not knocking the company. I think it's actually very good. And the time with the vet was very well spent. It helped us to focus what the problem was. And we're now on track with our local vet with the guidance, armed with that guidance to try and resolve the problem. So I wouldn't think that it's fair to go to the company and demand my money back, who in turn would doubtless take the money off the vet, because that's how these things tend to work. If I were to request my money back through the app, potentially they would claw back that money from the vet, which I don't think is fair, because the vet was fantastic, earned the money that I paid for the appointment, and I think it's perfectly fair that she keeps it. Now, it goes on here to say, might be a genuine error that they weren't aware of. Well, I think they would be aware of it, should be aware of it, and even if they're not aware of it, they certainly should be aware of it. And for some reason, the app showed that incorrectly. Well, the same website for the United Kingdom equally says that they cannot prescribe the medication, sort of at all, not just in a limited format. So even if that is just a mistake, it's a pretty poor mistake because it's misleading, which is what I said in the video. I didn't go any further than saying I think it's very slightly misleading, because that's all I think it is. I certainly don't think it's fraudulent, and I certainly don't think it was a deliberate attempt to mislead me. I just think, as it is, it's misleading. So those are my thoughts on that comment. And I have fed it back to the company, no doubt. I would hope that they will take my comments on board and make some changes. But this is just an example of how somebody can react quickly and drop those comments in and just essentially not get a real grasp of the situation and what's really happened and what's really going on behind the scenes and my thought process there. So when you leave comments on my videos, if you do leave negative comments, I will be coming for them and I will dissect them. In this case, I think it's a simple misunderstanding by Mike here, and I thank you for the comment, but I hope that serves to clarify why I didn't just demand my money back, whereas many people possibly would. In the meantime, smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.